outside, I was so athletic when I was younger that like I never got sick. And
Yeah.
then I hit like 25 and then it was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get sick every year now.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks too because you go outside and you're like, oh, it's great, fresh air, and then pollen, and then you're just blind, deaf, and miserable, and yeah, it sucks. My sister has them super, super bad. She was saying to me the other day, she's like, I finally figured out my allergies, and it's like it's so much better. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, and I'm thinking like this is a simple fix. I got like this 12-step process that she goes through like in a day. Like, well, I take this supplement, I do this, and I make sure I do this, and I watch this, and I'm like, it's like it was literally like a immunocompromised person trying to go outside for the first time, kind of like process. It's like, geez, dude, that's insane. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, well, how you been? How's Overwatch been?
It's actually been a little weird here lately.
Okay.
Um Season 10 has probably been my least favorite season, if I'm
How so?
honest. It I I feel like they made the changes with like grouping and everything. And it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to make it where there's narrower matches and your matches are more even and things like that. Like one thing that I've seen this season that I think is really weird is I've never seen matches be so one-sided one way or the other.
Interesting.
Like
Interesting.
I don't have close matches this season. We either get rolled or we just walk through and have no issues whatsoever.
Interesting. I wonder what the science is behind that. I've there's a really really interesting little bit of science that I have from somebody that's actually done a little bit of matchmaking. So we do pickup games, so like the Patreon sometimes, and I we get the SRs like the average lobby SR to be very very close, and games will just be stomps, and
Yeah.
then this we won't even change teams, and all of a sudden the next game's a stomp the other direction. Human nature is weird. And I think part of it has to do with hero pool as well. So, for example, like what's your most comfortable map on, let's say, Ana?
Mhm. Most comfortable map on a. Let me think about this for a second, actually. Um, Man, I'm just completely drawing a blank.
Sure. What's one you hate? Let's start with that one instead.
As a Ana, New Junk City.
Sure.
I
So,
hate it.
so you see what I'm saying though, right? Like maybe that's a map where you struggle, but like that's because you're not comfortable with the map. So if you get put into a new junk city, maybe you're performing at like a silver level, right, or like a bronze level, because you just either you hate it or maybe you're really bad at it or whatever the case may be. But the point being is that like I think that that's just the case. Is that some people are better in better maps, some people are better versus other heroes. Some people are really vulnerable to like confidence. Like let's say they lose confidence quickly because you started badly, and sometimes just luck happens. Humans are weird, you know.
Yeah. New Junk
Um,
City, I've learned to just like don't play Ana, just lock Brig, and I usually do pretty well.
sure, makes sense. It's hard though. It's hard though. I know I pity the matchmakers, but I also pity you because it's certainly not fun getting steamrolled. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not, and it's not fun being the one to steamroll other
No,
people either. Like I
no.
want close games. I don't want to just walk through the point and have no issues, but
Right,
it
right.
is what it is.
Yeah,
I
and
do like the mid-season changes, or not mid-season, but I like the nerf to Orisa. I mean, that's a win. Like
right,
put her
right.
in the dumpster for
I agree.
she's the
I,
ruiner of fun as far as tanks go.
right. Exactly. Okay.
But I haven't played very much since then, so I will say I'm rusty right now. Work's happened and I haven't played like the last week or two, I just haven't played as much as usual.
Okay. Is it just been due to busyness or just not enjoying things as much or a little bit of both?
Um, I think it's more busyness, but there is a little bit of the aspect of not enjoying it as much. Like I don't know what it is about season 10.
Okay. Okay. Makes
I'm
sense.
honestly kind of on the Spylo train where I'm kind of just like, should we just go back to 6v6? Like, is it really at that point where tank is just unplayable?
Maybe. Certainly, here's what ends up happening though for sure is that like, regardless of what happens with like, let's put it this way, it's much simpler for us to have a simple answer as to why something feels bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It feels a lot
Yeah.
better to be like the game. Everything feels bad because it's 6v6, or everything feels bad because it's season 10, or everything feels bad because Orisa or Malga or whatever the case may be. And there is
I will.
definitely there's definitely truth in that, of course.
Yeah, I
But
will say that I do look at it sometimes, like when I'm listening to like Samito or whoever, and it's like a little bit of rose-tinted glasses. Where then I think about it, and I'm like, wait, I remember playing like Diva and the other tank locking Hog because they wanted a priority pass and stuff. Like, there are some issues with 6v6 that I don't want back.
yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like there's always. Here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned is I think that there is objectively good times in the game and objectively bad times in the game. What was it, season 7 or season 8, when it was like Malga everywhere? Really
Oh,
not
that
a
was
good
awful.
time. Really not a
Yeah, that
good
was so
time.
awful. The
Right?
beginning
Definitely.
of season 9 was fantastic because you were
Yep.
seeing like Junker Queen and like Monkey got really big. Like
Yep.
when Winston's meta, that's when Overwatch is at its
I
best.
agree with you. I agree with you. So there's definitely things that influence that, but what we know is that like human psychology, we tend to snowball really quickly. You know,
Yeah,
if we don't like what we're playing, if we don't like what we're playing into, we're much likely to remember that loss as being a really negative experience, even if it was
yeah,
just like, would you rather get stomped by Winston or stomped by Malga? You might say stomped by Winston, and you're more likely to remember the stomp by Malga for a lot longer as a really crappy, miserable game, right?
yeah. At least when I'm getting stomped by Winston, like it just doesn't feel so oppressive. Like I
Right,
still
right.
enjoy the game, and
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. The problem is that we tend to exaggerate things in our own brain, both positively and negatively. So like a really good season or a really good game will be like feel really, really good after the fact, and a really, really bad game will feel really bad. There's actually a little bit of interesting study where they did like a pain tolerance study, like people's memory of pain, and people would have a much rosier impression of a, maybe not a rosy, but a less negative impression of a sickness if it was overall bleh and lasted a long time than if there was this really one bad moment, it was looked a lot worse. In other words, you could be sick for a week but not be like that sick, and it wouldn't in memory feel like it was that bad of a time, even though it was. But like, let's say you got like a really bad like food poisoning and you're like throwing up for like an hour, that would seem like way worse in retrospect because of the peak of pain. So the
yeah.
Overwatch equivalent is I have this memory playing Venture into Powder Iso first point attack into a pharmacy. I hated myself. It only lasted like 3.5 minutes, but I will never forget that game.
Yeah.
I will never forget that game. Uh, and the worst part about it is I'm sure that there's like a way that I could have figured something out that I could have done better. But in the moment, it just felt totally like worthless and useless. And so I think same thing is probably for you. It's like when you think back to season 10, it may only have been a couple of games that have really put you down on the toilet, but it's going to feel really bad. So I think just being aware of that. It's probably
Yeah.
not as bad as you remember it. It's probably
I've
not going to be.
actually I've
Go ahead.
actually been tracking my games. Like I've got a little book where I've just been
Mm-hmm.
like writing down wins, losses, and what map. So I've been tracking like wins that I get per map this season, which
Oh,
I've never done before.
oh. I had one other student
And
did that, and it was very interesting, the results. Go ahead.
it just seems so it's just so weird. It's so 50-50 Overwatch, and like it just feels like very few of the games are actually just close. It just
Mm-hmm.
feels like, yeah, this team, like I don't know how we ended up in matchmaking together because we just like it was just, our team just walked right through them. Or it's the other way around where it's like, man, how did I just die 15 times just like trying to stay alive walking out of spawn? Like,
Right, right. It's hard because especially in low to mid ranks, the consistency is a skill that you have to develop, your ability to like adapt, and even like the mental resilience. I noticed in bronze, because I was in bronze, silver, and gold for a long time, there were a lot more rage levers in those ranks. There were a
yeah,
lot more people would stagger a lot worse. People would just throw ultimates and lost fights. People would just not be able to adjust or whatever. Not even necessarily swap characters, but like knowing how to play like one trick Roadhog, but like knowing how to play Roadhog in different circumstances, right, or whatever. And as I ranked up, people got better at that. But that is something you're gonna have to deal with. is that people
Yeah.
are just not very good at the game. And that's going to have situations where you just catch just the right enemy team and they get stonewalled, or vice versa. The good news, though, is that no matter the quality of the game, you can build your own little bubble where you can practice what you need to practice. And even in the worst of the worst games, it's not a waste of time if your goal is to rank up, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It doesn't always feel very good, but it still feels like at least it wasn't a total waste of time. I was able to get something productive done. The question
Yeah,
is what is that thing?
season 9 was like the season of improvements. Like that coaching session I had with you really made a difference. Like
Good. I'm glad to
I
hear that.
noticed that when we had the coaching session, I paid attention to this. My win rate on Ana was at like 52%, 53, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ended the season with something like 70, close to it.
That's
So
good.
I actually climbed last season from silver to plat.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Okay.
a big season.
Nice. Good. Congratulations on the win. How did the individual focuses go? So I'm like looking back, thinking pre-fight about where to set up, don't hold on to cooldowns, overhealing, all that kind of stuff. How did that all
I
go?
got I got so much more offensively minded. I would say my average damage per game, like before we had the coaching session, was like, I don't know, a couple thousand, like better heals and like couple thousand damage or something. And by the end of the season, I think my average damage per game was something like 4 or 5 thousand.
Mm,
So
mm,
that changed a lot.
mm, mm.
Offensive grenades changed a lot. Uh, I've found a whole lot more value as the season went on. Stopped holding on to sleep cooldown.
Good.
Started getting more value out of that.
Good. 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 So we're back here just for a reevaluation of how stuff is going.
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, it's still the same. Where I think like I'm gonna get a few coaching sessions as support, and then I'm gonna like start going hard tank and
Sure.
see how
Sure.
that goes. You know?
Sure, sure. I have a suggestion. We could look at this replay code or whatever for a little bit, see how you're doing.
Yeah,
And if you are able to stream through Discord and are interested, we could do some live coaching as well
yeah, we could do that.
because it's the second time through. But yeah, okay. Anything else that you want to go over? Obviously, like training time and all that kind of stuff we talked about in our last session. But do you have any questions since our last session?
Um, Not really. No, I mean,
Okay.
it's season 9. I mean, season 10. That's one of the things about it is like it doesn't feel that much different than the season 9. So like, I mean, the changes were subtle, outside
Yeah.
of the Orisa buff or nerfs that just happened. But
Yeah.
like, it just feels like the changes were so small, but the matchmaking just got. I just think there's issues with the matchmaking right
You
now.
could be
I think
right.
it might be bugs with like grouping and stuff like that, but it's like
You could be right. You could
I
be
have
right.
I have no idea how to explain it. I would think that my matches would be more even, but they're just not.
Yeah, you could be right. Frankly, not sure. Frankly, not sure. Okay. Shoot me the replay code when you get a second, and then we'll get it pulled up, and then we'll get rolling.
All right. Give me 1 second. I got a weird one. I got a Circuit Royale.
Oh boy.
My most loved map for sure. I can't wait for the rework on this map. And Dorado.
Yeah. You and me both.
All right. Let's see. History. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of replay codes for you. That was one of the things that made me notice it was like trying to get a good replay code, and so many of them just weren't close games. So this one's a little weird because it's like we started out doing so bad, and then it improved a lot.
Yeah, that happens all the time. People are like, "Oh, it's just GG's," but you never know.
Had a brain fart there and couldn't remember how to get a replay code.
Good. Got it. Circuit Royale, Ana. Ana can be good in Circuit Royale as long as they don't have Widow. Because then you
I
could be
don't think
like,
they
I'm the
played Widow. I,
sniper. Okay,
I
that's
think
good.
I started out Zenyatta in this game, which is rare for me. I was just trying something different.
Sure. Did you want to look at the Zen, or do you want to stick with the Widow? Or the Ana, excuse me.
It doesn't matter. We can watch those Zen. It doesn't last very long. I think it's just 1 or 2 deaths, maybe.
Alright, then maybe we just skip to the Ana then at that point. So that's my hero pool, the Ana Zenyatta.
Mine usually is Ana, Kiriko, and Brig. That's kind of turned into my
Yeah.
trio.
Yeah, I would say swap the Kiriko for Zen. That's my hero pool. I actually do like Brigitte. I think she's a lot of fun to play, personally. But yeah, okay, let's take a look here. How's the quality on your end? I had to render a video currently, so it's almost done, but it might be a little glitchy on your end. Does it look okay?
It is a little laggy.
A little fuzzy?
It's not fuzzy, it's like skipping a little bit, kind of.
Okay. Is it distracting? If you have to say yes.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll pause the render until later. Okay, I'm actually going to do this. Render this. Yeah, so basically what ended up happening is we had a previous session prior to this. The guy couldn't make it, so I had to record the review, and then there was a mistake that he sent the wrong replay code. So we had to like pause the recording and then start over again, so I have to combine the two. But yeah, anyway, long story short. All right,
Yeah,
better?
gotcha. Yeah, that's way better.
I love the fire strikes here. I don't know what it is about fire strikes and Moira orbs, man, but they just... I always have the story of this one East Bronze I did like a month and a half ago. There were 9 Moira orbs in one room.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of like, I'm not sure what my team is doing in the beginning of this game.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much of it.
See, this is the kind of like gold. Like, where are you at right now, rank wise?
I think gold 1.
Gold 1, right? This is the gold experience, right? Why is your Junker Queen touching right now when she could wait like half a second later?
Yeah, I'm like telling them in comms, like, guys, let's group up.
But it also goes in your end too, right? Because you look at this here and you're like, okay, maybe this is winnable. I would say
I moved too far forward trying to save people here.
So then now your Junker Queen's dead, now your Tracer's dead, now your Genji's dead. You need to just be running.
Yep.
And so you're kind of like scoping and shooting. You could have very easily made it to the corner.
Yeah, I didn't expect to get shattered there. That was my thing.
But it would have been something, right? If not shatter, it would have been a Hanzo shot or an honest guard or something, right? So it's like what ends up happening is you've kind of staggered yourself, and then your Junker Queen touches maybe a little bit too soon. So it's like these what I like to call mini staggers. So it's not a full bronze tier stagger. It's just enough to be annoying. It's just enough to put you guys at a massive disadvantage for like 30 seconds in a row. And like even now, like right now, get out, reset up your position as quickly as you can. Take top. Okay, there you go. We've learned our lesson. Good. Okay, so I actually think if you have the time to rotate, where should you rotate to?
Probably upstairs.
Yep, I think going to here and then rotating to here. The Hanzo might be kind of annoying, but if he's there, okay, fine. Then you can drop. That's all right. But at least you're there just in case. In the worst case scenario, you can always just drop. Oh please. Like right now, see your Genji's going in for a pick, right? You could do what you're doing with your JQ and also help your Genji control top, land a couple of shots, land a big nade there, but you just can't do it from here. So it's always about like, what's an intelligent position that I can play? Because I'm sure that you're going to try to land some nades here and land some damage shots, which is good. But like your positioning isn't really letting you to do much, right? Like even a nade here is going to be hard because you're just probably going to hit Rein Shield.
Yeah.
Nano here, good shots, but I think you're just not in a position to land cooldowns. Your positioning is screwing you over here. Okay. I want to move quickly through this review if we can. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I want to go efficiently through this so that we've already reviewed your Ana not too long ago. We've had some things. We'll see how you're doing. We'll do like a status check, and then we'll get into some more coaching afterwards. Live coaching stuff.
And that was half the reason I picked this game, is because it's like a weird one positioning-wise. I know there were mistakes made.
Sure. And I think the biggest thing here is not considering the better angle that's going to allow you to actually get more cooldown value.
Yeah.
Because that is the problem with not controlling even just a slight off angle, is that things like Rhine Shield just ruin you. Like, what are you supposed to nade or sleep when there's a Rhine Shield in front of you, right?
Yeah.
You could try to big brain him for sure, but it becomes like a skill check between you and Ryan. Like, that's a good nade right there. That's a great nade right there. Good sleep dart as well. But the problem is it's so late, right? That now that this fight's probably already lost. The nano damage has already been done. And because you were not in a position to do more than that, good nade there as well. Like, this is good cooldown usage. It should have been done earlier if you'd been in a better position, if that makes sense. Okay, let's keep going here. We won't beat on a dead horse, though, so maybe we let things go. Let's see how it goes once this fight evolves. Good try with the sleep. Let's get that, and you can nade him now if you want to. Good nade. Good shot on the Hanzo there. Yeah, you are looking for more shots. I mean, I can see why you're able to hit platinum or even just gold 1, right? Like, that's a definite improvement in your gameplay.
Yeah.
For maybe Nano Blade here. Good.
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Good Nano Blade. Good Nano Blade. All right, let's see what you do here. Good sleep. See, even this is like pretty close, but as long as you have like this cover here, you can kind of rotate here. You're gonna die, but you're gonna get a lot of value.
That's kind of my approach right here. Is like, I may die, but I'm gonna help.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not bad considering the enemy team had 4 ultimates there. So, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I think the only thing I would have said here is in terms of the way that you use the cooldowns here. The sleep is fine, right? But then maybe just holding that nade to try and hit a squishy instead of the Reinhardt, right?
I was trying to hit Reaper. I didn't realize he had already.
Yeah.
I thought he had come out of his fade.
I got you. And even here, just like shooting the Valk is just honestly kind of pointless. So if you're gonna shoot anybody, shoot the Ana or shoot the Tracer, and you maybe get the trade there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going here.
Any questions? Second round looks like a different game. It's so weird, the adjustments we make.
Well, this happens in this map all the time. I think it's just because positional advantages are like kind of weird in this game. Like there's like some really nasty defender's advantage, right, on first point.
Yeah.
And then really nasty on second. But then if you can get past those hard points, third point's pretty neutral, right? Third point defender's advantage is not that high, actually. So it can snowball pretty quickly if you can get it anywhere close to third. Good try with the sleep. Widow's awkward, but so look for an angle. Appreciate the nade there. It's a big nade. And this is where you need to be thinking positioning, right? Like, where can you go? I know you're worried about cart here, but you got 2 on cart now. Where do you go?
I think I go upstairs in a second.
All right,
I'm
ready for it. I'm ready for it. But it has to be now. It has to be now.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't.
But you what am I looking for? What's the word here? But you noticed that, right? Like you immediately recognized that that was where you needed to be as quickly as you can so that, you know, there's pressure here. If the Rhine pushes you, sleep him. If the Rhine doesn't push you, then you have a great angle, the pressure backline here. This map is a great example of like why taking those angles matter, because with Circuit Royale, there's like only one angle, right? Like there's only like one angle and main pretty much to the entire map, which is why this map sucks so much. So you better darn well be taking that angle, whether it's on third defense or first attack. Otherwise, like, you know, like what could you really do this fight, you know? Okay, let's keep going. Keep going. And the same thing kind of applies here as well. If you have the time to rotate, where are you going to go?
Straight up the hill. That's where I usually try to go.
You got it. Start here if you find the time to rotate. I mean, if you do have a lot of time, like let's say you guys get a team wipe here, this position here is pretty good, right? Like sitting up here. Good try with the sleep and the nade.
Hard on this low point.
Yeah, this is a horrific spot to be in.
This is the spot they're changing, from what I understand.
I actually don't. I didn't hear that. Do you have? Where did you hear that?
It was talked about in one of the dev blogs. They talked about changing this map, Dorado.
Oh, I know it's this map, but I wasn't sure like what point.
I feel like it might have been in Flat's interview or something. One
That's
of the
probably
ones
it.
I
That's
heard, they
probably it.
said that it was they've specifically pointed out second point.
That's good. That's good. I got a funny story when it comes to this stuff. I was talking with Gavin Wender, who does the matchmaking, coincidentally, and
Yeah.
he was talking about some of the things that they're trying to figure out. And I was like, hey, have you heard of like the remove the glass meme with Coliseo? Anyway, long story short, I was like, is Ryan Smith, he's the guy that does all the map design stuff recently. And I was like, does Ryan Smith hate me? Like, does that guy, because I made the whole remove the glass rant in Coliseo, like the terrible first fight thing. And he's like, no, 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 Ryan doesn't hate you about that. He's like, Ryan didn't even create the glass. Ryan inherited the glass. So apparently there's been a change of the guard, so to speak, when it comes to maybe the map making. So we're gonna blame all the crappy stuff on not Ryan Smith.
Well, that's what they're changing in Coliseo too, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're taking the
it
glass
is.
out.
They're taking the glass out. So
That's going to be a different map altogether
is.
with just that change.
It sure is. I had somebody messaged me on Discord about a week ago with a 4.5-minute video of first fight in Coliseo and Diamond 2. 4.5 minutes of fighting in that glass portion, with neither team winning. It was insane. Good cooldown usage here, by the way. Good cooldown usage.
A lot of those Overwatch CS matches on that map, it's like 4 minutes and both teams would push like 8 meters.
Yeah. It's just like which Sojourn's gonna hit a railgun, That's pretty much the entire thing.
Yeah, that pretty much is it.
Okay. Obviously you're the cart baby here, so there's not a lot you can do. And then even here, like you're gonna land a nade here, but you can also be thinking, okay, how can I improve my positioning here slightly?
Going up on the right.
Yeah, just get up to this angle here and then start potting some shots. You just like little stuff like that. It's a good nade, The Winston's gonna die for it, I think.
I think he does.
Yeah. So it's a good nade, but it's just small little adjustments like that I want to see. I think it's probably something that is not always super easy to remember, just with how many things are going on all the time. But I think it might even be more important than cooldown usage, because you can't think about like what you're doing here. You were trying to land sleeps and nades.
LOSing the Orisa.
right. But like you couldn't land sleeps and nades. Remember, you're on defense here because you couldn't see anything. So if your positioning is not bad, but if it isn't good, you can't even use your cooldowns. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, I'm sorry. We gotta.
It's like classic gold. I just LOS her the whole time, just to annoy her.
Oh my gosh, that's unreal. Yeah. Okay. I want to do some live coaching if you're down. I want to do some live coaching.
I'm down.
Let's get in queue. I think looking at things, you're trying to get cooldown value. It's a little messy, but that's been a big improvement from our last review. I'm just not so convinced that you're always taking the best positions when available, so we'll work at that.
Oh, I definitely didn't in that game. It had some rough points.
It's tough too.
But it was one of those maps where I was just like, okay, go next. Like at the beginning, that was just how I felt. I was like, what is my team doing? They're trolling right now.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, I'm like, oh, like my team is actually like we're turning this around. Okay, maybe I should actually.
And not to be that guy, but I will say that in part, you were part of the problem on first. In terms of like your positioning and a little bit of the staggering as well. It's like you're causing that snowball to happen as well.
Yeah.
Let me know if you figure out the Discord stream and we'll be cooking.
Let's see. It's been so long since I streamed on Discord, I had to find it.
I can show you if you want.
I think I got it.
Should be share your screen, then they have like the Overwatch window pulled up once you get it. Got it. Nice work. Good to go.
All right.
It's only on a 720/30. Is that okay?
That's totally fine. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we go I've fallen a lot this season. I think I'm gold 3. It's been a weird season.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. You warmed up relatively, or you want to jump in some deathmatch while you're in queue?
I might just do Vaxa for a second.
Yeah, let's do it up.
Well,
Let's do it up.
what?
Well, you know what? Let's screw it. Screw it. If with what we're practicing, you
Let's
don't
just
need to be
go.
warmed up. Well, you're
Yeah,
in
let's
open
just
queue
go.
now. You're in open queue now. You're in open queue
Oh,
now.
my bad. That would have been good.
That would have been really funny. God, why am I healing 4 tanks? Like, what's going on? Yeah, you can jump into deathmatch in the meantime then. Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever. Or Vex, I don't really care. Just do something while you wait. I've coached a few open queue games. They're always fun. True story. I've actually coached Mystery Heroes before. Unironically. That was an interesting session.
Warm up, I usually
Works for me.
just go Kiriko for warming up.
That's fine. That's a cool crosshair, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen that before.
Never seen what?
Your crosshair, it's cool.
Oh yeah. With Kiriko, there's a lot more of the left and right, so I just went with that.
Yeah. I'm just the basic tiny green dot. Is that a bug on my screen, or is that an actual crosshair? Kind of a route, you know. Remember back in the day when I was new to first-person shooters, I thought like crosshair was like this big, super important thing that like would totally change your aim. I watched so many videos and I was like, this is a waste of time, isn't this?
Like, I get so cracked up at Emong's stream with his crosshairs.
Yeah.
Like, if you looked at any of them, like his Hanzo this season,
no, I haven't.
It's hilarious.
It's
like half the screen. It's so big. He's
Remember
like, it's the size of Hanzo arrows. It's fun.
That's funny. There was one with like, there's like some old Reinhardt player back in the day named Clone Man. And he used to have like this massive Winston crosshair. Like you said, it was like half the screen, you know.
Man, I'm so rusty.
Nah, that's fine. I always do this as well. It's always embarrassing when I'm like trying to coach like a concept of like trigger discipline or like crosshair placement. I'm like, all right, this is what you're gonna do. And I go into Vax and I miss my first 25 shots. I'm like, all right, well, they'll do as I say, not as I do, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You should swap Ana as well, considering we're gonna be playing some Ana, even just for a couple of shots.
See, how do you even switch in
Hold
Vax?
R. Hold R.
R.
I think, yeah.
Okay. I never actually switch heroes in it. I usually just play one and back out.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how many of these players are still playing. Masa is still playing. Funny Astro is still playing. Who's the Genji? Shadowburn? I don't think he's playing anymore. I think Boger's the Lifeweaver. Obviously, he's still playing. Who's the Echo? EQO. I don't think he's playing much anymore. He was playing not too long ago, but I don't think he's playing anymore. That's Fielder, I think. Fielder's still playing. I actually just was looking at Fielder Kiriko on Thursday on stream. Linkser's not playing anymore.
I swear, some of those Korean teams this year just seem unbeatable.
Oh, yeah, they're so good. So good.
I feel like Proper and Stalker together is just
Yeah, it's
scary.
cheating, man. It's cheating. It's crazy. Watching Proper versus Lip this past week on Sojourn was just unreal. Nice shot. Is that Shaz? Oh, that's an old name. He's definitely not playing anymore. That's a Gladiators player, if I remember correctly, like Season 1 Overwatch League. Jonak, obviously. What I like to do when I'm doing on-end Vaxa, by the way, is be like, try to practice like one thing. Like I'll practice my unscoped, I'll practice my scoped, I'll practice my quick scopes, or I'll practice my sleeps. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like so many like little things that you could practice. It's kind of like overwhelming, but yeah. Okay, let's prioritize on Ice-T. Is that that might be one of my students on the enemy team. Anyway, I want you to work on before the fight starts. What's the best position for me to get cooldown / shot value?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So like you're not familiar with this map as much, but as soon as you see which it is, you'll be able to like start thinking at a time, like, okay, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? And then once you're on that position, first job should be to nade. Find the position, nade value.
I do feel like we got a good map for it because I'm so like this is not one of my Ana maps. I struggle here sometimes.
Perfect. Okay, I gotta actually see if this is the guy I think it is. Range, right?
Turn it down a little bit. Game volume was just too much.
Yeah, I got you. All right. What's the angle here? Because now you know what map you're on, so start to think. What do you at least want to try? Even if you fail miserably, at least you learn something from it, right? So
I'd try to never go straight down this
works
spot
for me.
on
Works
this
for
map.
me.
Enemy in sight.
All right, look for a nade. Find an angle. Look for a nade. So the initial angle was, well, you tell me. What do you think?
Didn't have a lot of sight lines on anybody there.
Okay, so not a good sight line, and then your rotation ended up putting you out in the open. Okay, so now fix it here. Try something different here.
Discord weakens them. Here is an enemy.
Want to try to avoid the hog.
We're outnumbered.
Sure. Good news is they didn't cap, so you guys got time. Close. Now where do you now's your choice, right? Like here's your option. Where are you gonna rotate to here?
Probably this side.
Looks good. All right, let's pop off.
Yep. I forget this map.
That's okay. Just try something. Learn from it. Good shot. There's an honor right in front of you. Pop it.
Missed.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh. My
I
team's
think-
all over the place.
I think your initial play angle, like once the Roadhog backed out, I think that's something to go back and evaluate. What we'll do is we'll look at this again in the replay review and we'll brainstorm. So just keep experimenting.
Yeah.
So that one
Yeah,
felt
when I
bad.
said this is not my Ana map, this is actually the point that I struggle
Perfect.
the most with.
Perfect.
I never
Perfect.
know where to go.
Perfect. So keep trying stuff. Try this here, see how it feels. Walk to that door frame and see how it goes. Look for nades.
Oh, I just got diffed.
I think it was initial sight line was good. It just then as your team rotated a point, it felt awkward. Alright, look for a nano here.
Hmm. Go Diva, go.
Nice. Nice.
My gosh, I didn't realize he followed around behind.
That's alright. You guys got cap. You guys have bomb. You guys might have EMP soon.
I go out on my terms.
I think I'm gonna try to play this hut. I feel like that's the place to go.
Works for
I
me.
never play Ana on this point. Like, I usually go Brig,
Works for me.
so it's interesting.
Over there. Eyes on the target.
I like this sightline a lot. Feels like you could see so much and yet have such good consistent cover, you know?
Diva's trolling with LOS, so.
That's alright. You can always rotate left.
I'm here. Keep fighting.
When you see an opportunity, look for a nade. Good. Nice nade. Nice job. And you could also rotate forward there too. You just kind of see that. So like you could push forward, you could push back. Like this position feels like it gives you all the options. As long as you have cover and even just a small sight line.
I don't want to be up there when they come around that corner. I heard the Zarya.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. Look for a nade. Nice. Look for a nade.
Tried too hard to hit both of them and I missed both.
That's all right. That's all right. You recognized it. That's all that matters. All right, let's pop off. Shoot. There you go. Revenge. Nice job. Nice job. You adjusted. Did you notice that? You tried far right, you tried under left, you tried main. Main actually seemed the best, considering that you could rotate your sightlines forward and backwards. We'll look at that one again in replay review for you to kind of like theory craft some more, but you figured something out. Okay.
It's funny because like that hut in the middle a lot of times at lower ranks is like you want to avoid it because everybody runs out together and just gets steamrolled.
Yeah.
But with Ana for the sidelines, it almost seems like that's the way I want to go.
Sure.
And
exactly.
just kind of linger in the hut behind everybody for a minute, then go out.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
5, 4,
Okay, let's see. Look for a sightline.
round 2. Capture the objective.
Let's do what we did last time, but this time.
Don't just autopilot here. Try something. Middle, left, right, high ground, low ground, flank. As long as you have cover. You got no cover where you're at. Left or right. Choose. There you go. Where should you be? Where should you be? Good try to sleep. Maybe the nade there, you know? Yeah, there you go. Where can you be? Is where you're at fine? Could you improve where you're at?
Probably, yeah. Definitely could now.
That's alright. Good rotation there. I like the cover. So you're close now, but at least you have cover. Which is the big thing. Nice. Alright, you got nano, so look for nade, look for nano.
Yep.
Good sleep there.
Can't see her.
Fresh. Yeah, not the best EMP, that's okay. Alright, you win this duel.
Oh yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Pretty good nano, pretty good CD usage there. I want you to try something a little different on this attack. So don't do the same angle. Try a different angle, either a high ground left or go right side or something like that. Look
Yeah,
where your
high
team
ground
goes.
left is what I was thinking.
All right, let's try it. See how it goes.
Enemy spotted.
If I can remember this map. Have to think this
You'll
again.
figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, check that out. Get it.
That was a good sleep.
It was a good sleep. Nice shots. So what did you think of that spot?
I like it more. Just when my team rotates up, I lose LOS.
Sure. So rotate there again quickly. You can go that way if you want to. And then find out if there's a way to rotate deeper if your team pushes forward.
Oh, okay, here.
You see it? Alright, let's get a nade here. Nice. Nice. Big cooldown trades. Ooh, you almost got the sleep.
I don't know who that was even on. Did she even get anybody?
Careful, careful, careful. Oh no. All right, you got him.
On my way. Eyes on shield command.
Oh, I didn't even hear his footsteps.
That's all right. That's all right. I think your big mistake there is I did not see a reason for you to drop from that high. You kind of got distracted. You dropped, but it did not improve your sight lines at all.
Yeah, I actually didn't mean to drop. I just stepped off.
Sure.
Our fight is not over. This is an uphill fight. Careful.
System's running hot.
I keep pressing push to talk. I forgot to change it to
That's
voice
fine.
activity.
No, you're good.
So my
you're good.
team's hearing everything I'm saying to you.
That's good. They need the coaching, I'm sure. All right, let's
Keep fighting.
Will she get the remake? I think she should have it now. Yeah. All right.
There it is.
Let's try it. Try a position, even if it's just the same high ground. Let's see how it goes.
Oh.
You're okay. Go, go, go. Look for a nano. Nice. Huge nade. Even if... Nice. Nano, the first thing you see, even if it's your Sombra. Or your Venture, whatever. Okay, let's get an angle for a nade. Maybe walk forward if you need to. Oh, you got a sightline here. You're perfect.
Getting sweaty over here.
Just whipped
You're good,
that.
you're good, you're good. You popped off with shots on the supports earlier, so you've earned it.
Calling out the dig site.
Oh no.
I can't believe you lived that long.
Nice job. Man, so we learned something from the map, right? Not only did you practice the skill of where do I need to be, where do I need to be, where do I need to be, but you also learned a little bit of something, some adjustments you can make in a map that you probably didn't like before at this point, right?
Yeah.
So here's what we do. This is the fun part. We go back in the VOD. You send me the replay code, and we analyze more.
Okay.
If that works for you.
Yeah, that works.
Nice job.
All right.
Got it. So you'll need to like click on my Discord profile picture and like tab over to find my stream because I restarted it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Let me know if you can figure it out. It can be a little awkward.
The objective.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it. Okay. So all we're going to be looking at here is your initial positioning. What do you think? What would have been better? Thoughts?
Yeah, it was interesting because, like I said, I hardly ever play on that map because I struggle with her. But after doing it and finding some of those angles and stuff, I'm like, okay, maybe I will start trying her out there.
Sure. What did you think of this position?
Wait a second. Oh, it's I clicked on my stream. My bad.
Okay, you're good. Same map.
Okay, there we go. This position, hated it. Honestly,
Okay. Why?
didn't like it a bit. There's too many things blocking LOS from both teams.
Works for me. So where should you have gone differently?
Probably into the hut. That seems to be where I had the best sight lines.
Yeah, I agree. Something like this here. You can also rotate here. You can push up here. All sorts of stuff. Okay, let's keep going. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. You try a different angle this time. Okay. Yeah, so you go here. Thoughts in this position here?
This one's not bad. I think I should have kind of stuck with this one a little more.
Okay, okay.
I
Thoughts?
like the fact that I can see some of my team and some of the enemy team.
Sure.
Here
Thoughts
I
on this one
jumped
here?
off because of not knowing the map. I meant to go above where I'm at now, and I just jumped off the edge.
Sure. Because, like, let's just for the sake of the argument, what do you think of this position?
Not good.
Why not?
I mean, I like the sight lines, but if anybody decides to push point, I'm probably gonna die.
Right. So this one felt like maybe the simplest of all the maps in terms of like where to go. It just really felt like main, but then main because you could like your team. You were like, oh, my team pushes forward. I can't do it. Well, you just rotate to here. You know. So it's like if it's either one of these door frames or this position here, or maybe even this position here, it feels like you have all your bases pretty much covered.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. I feel like that's the place to play on it.
Perfect. And I think the key thing is that you actually, I didn't really help you much for this. You kind of figured it out just through trial and error and trying all the bad spots. So it was like a process of elimination. You know?
It really was.
It's not that spot. It's not that spot. And obviously, a lot of it does depend on the situation. Like maybe this situation isn't too bad. Like if they're playing like a widow or something, and I don't know. Like there's going to be a world where this position isn't totally troll, but most of the time this angle is not going to be the best. And you did find it. You did figure it out. You ended up here, and look at your like little mini rotations. You actually rotated to here, and then you pushed up to here. I'm just gonna like watch this from overhead at 2 times speed because it's actually kind of funny. All the little mini rotations that you do, probably without even really realizing it. Right? You guys get an advantage. Look at where you rotate to. Oh, we're up a bunch. Look at where your position moves toward. You're like, okay, well, we're standing here, pocket my Hanzo. You're not in the door frame anymore. Okay, now we're up again. I actually walk forward all the way here. Okay, then I remember you saying out loud, okay, they're pushing forward. I don't want to be here. I back up to the next corner. Now, actually here, what I would prefer you to have done is probably, unless you're like landing a big nade here, go right back to this position here. Or go right back to this angle of sightline here, if you'd had the time.
Yeah.
Because I think here is where you ran a little bit of a risk, where you kind of opened up an avenue here where like this is a little too close, right? Just a little too close.
I thought the Zarya was going down, and when she was there, I was just trying to use line of sight, use cover there.
Exactly. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's check out the next one. Thoughts on this initial positioning here?
Not good. Good thought lines at times, but you're too exposed.
Too exposed. Also feels like your sightlines are really good, except for this big massive thing in the middle, which is in the way like 75% of the time anyway. So it's like it just feels awkward.
If my team was playing that thing for cover, which I thought they were going to do, then it might be all right. I actually went here halfway because like when Falcons played Ana with Winston, like this is kind of where they stayed. But the Winston also knew to come back to LOS.
Right. You have to adjust like where's your team position and where's your enemy team. Well, the good thing is that, okay, so you may not always have time to rotate to high ground. So here's a question. You're stuck here. How do you improve your sightline? What's the simplest fix? I don't think you recognize this. I want to see if you can figure it out now.
Probably going through the tunnel on left.
You got it. Yeah. You needed to do this way more.
Yeah.
If you're stuck on the floor, this is the solution right here. This is the solution right here. This is beautiful.
I do have a habit sometimes of just like I can't see people. I'm just gonna walk forward, and that's not the answer a lot of times.
And this is the worst case scenario, right? Because not only is your sightline not that good, but you're also totally naked. This is so much better, offensively and defensively. And so this is where I was like, find cover, and you kind of did, right? You did use the building here, so kind of, sort of, but it just doesn't feel great. Okay. Now, obviously, this gets messy, yada, yada, yada. You actually rotate up to the left here, which I actually didn't hate too much. It's a little close, but at least you had cover. It felt like there was a logic. Like, watch what you did here with the nade here. Bam. Okay.
I was trying to just force out his fade at the very least.
Yeah. Thoughts on your retake angle here?
It might be a little aggressive. I mean, I do get slept there, but I don't mind it, honestly. As long as my team walks forward, then it's fine.
And I think the other thing, too, is that I was showing you is that you actually can deepen here, too. You could rotate back and forth. This is where I think you just fell off.
Yeah, I think I stepped off the back. Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah. That's just not knowing the map very well,
Yeah,
more
it's
than
all right.
anything.
I was so scared because you were thinking, watch this Cassidy signing. I was freaking out.
Yeah, I was trying to get behind this,
I was like, ah, pick him again.
and then I peek again.
Okay. Now, just for the sake of the argument here, because you guys do lose this fight, what do you think about, because we didn't really get a chance to try it. What do you think about, like, this side? Bad? Good? Feels maybe awkward. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I go that side a lot if I'm playing Kiriko.
Yeah.
I don't really like it as much for Ana because I feel like there aren't a lot of good rotations from here.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you're stuck if they push you.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true. What I would do, though, is I would... You got to be willing to throw a couple of ranked games. Next time I get this game, I might try it for a fight. See how it goes. Obviously, it depends on where your team goes, right? If they all rotate way over here, then yeah, don't do this. But like,
If I play Kiriko, that's the spot. Like I love right side when I'm playing Kiriko.
but yeah, obviously you popped off here. Like that's not live. Huge nade, totally disengaged the entire enemy backline. Then you just 2-tap the Cassidy. You get slept again.
Yep.
And then you 2-tap. I think you killed the Lucio here as well. Kill the Tracer.
think I do.
The Nano was good. Bam, bam, bam. Kill the Lucio. Yeah, it's oppressive. It's so hard to get to you. You have such a good sightline for nades and sleeps and shots. It was just really good. It was good.
And that's what makes Ana good right there. It's like it's tough to get the setup, but if you let Ana get set up, then it can be GG.
Right.
Like she
right,
can
exactly.
ruin a game.
Exactly, which is why you probably Ana sometimes struggles in King of the Hill for that map because it's a lot like Flashpoint, right? Like there's just so much running around that you don't always have time to set your feet, but that is the goal. Okay, let's take some notes here. I think the key thing for you is we really only talked about one thing, but I think it's going to be the springboard by which you practice all your other things, like your mechanics, your cooldown usage, your nanos, and so on. It's going to be like pre-fight. Think about the best angle sightline for impact and be willing to experiment more, to learn more about the maps. Because the question is if I had not been in your ear, how long would it have been before you found out that position?
Probably too long.
You know? And why is the case? You know, is that because you would never would have thought of it, or you just wouldn't have experimented, or what?
It was kind of a spot that was in the back of my head. A lot of times, those spots like that, it's that mindset from like bronze and silver that lingers around for silver, where it's like I'm so afraid of losing sight of my team that I'm afraid somebody's gonna die in the time it takes me to rotate up there.
Yeah.
And that's just not usually the case. Like especially as you get a little higher, because
Right.
my teams aren't the same as, I mean, after our coaching, I went from silver, and when I was making those adjustments, I fell to bronze, then climbed back up.
Yep.
And those bronze games were rough.
It shows. Like, you know, even when you're doing that initial rotation, I think your Venture actually died. But then what ended up happening is you guys won the fight anyway, just because you had such an oppressive position. You know?
Yeah.
So obviously you don't...
I need to remember more often that, like, okay, it takes time to rotate up there, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, and sometimes, frankly, it doesn't even take time to rotate. Like, remember on that first fight, like you're peeking on main, I was like, just go through that left tunnel, like you were saying. That rotation takes like 1 second, and yet that was significantly better than what you did. So it's like just constantly asking yourself, where do I need to be? Where do I need to be? Where do I need to be? Because I find that it's very easy, like you were saying, with these like more static characters to get your feet stuck in the mud and not want to move. Or too scared to take a risk or too scared to experiment, and that costs you games. But
and if I have games where I just feel like I didn't do what I should have as Ana, that's typically what happened.
Yep, exactly.
It's either that or they played a comp that's just real dive heavy and I just had to switch or something.
Sure. Okay. Any questions?
No, I